Hey guys, what's up? It's Finch here. Today we're going to be doing a video on a Sword and Shield tier changes for the month of November, as in the first half of the month of November. Given how we're doing it with DLC 2, it's going to be split up into two halves. It's really important to note because that means that there can be a lot of changes happening really quickly, but it's going to let it so that metagames ultimately are going to be able to settle if that's even possible looking at all of these changes. So what we're going to do for this video is we're going to go over each and every single rise and drop. We're going to give some explanations as to why, and also we're going to discuss potential meta commentary on how it's going to affect things. Thankfully, we're going to start with the rises, as there are much fewer rises than drops, as a lot of things are still settling into the tier that they'll ultimately reside in. As for rises, OU finally finds Buzzwole being back in OU contention, OU usage, and I think that's long awaited. Buzzwole's been one of the best Pokemon in the tier for a while now. It cracked my top 10 list a while back when it was falling to you, which I found funny. It's really good against things like Serum Black, Zygarde. It even does well against Pheromosa. Not to mention, it can soft check things like non-choice band Melmetal, and just overall be a pretty strong presence in the metagame. Yeah, it is walled by some fairy types and potentially even Toxapex, but defensively, very sound option right now, and I'm really curious to see how it settles into the metagame as a more normalized staple of balanced teams, if you will. Nidoking's a bit more of a surprise to me. While it does absorb Toxic Spikes and deals a great amount of damage, potentially even replacing Landorus Eye in some niche roles, it really does lack a defensive footprint, being able to only really have the electric community going for it, and potentially a fairy resistance as well, although it's not the most durable fairy resist to say the least. Not really matching the presence of most steel types such as Heatran and Melmetal. With that said, though, it's not the most bulky presence, but it can deal out damage offensively, especially if you're not facing things like Blissey or the rare Cresselia, which can obviously keep it in check. But with that said, I do think that Nidoking won't be in OU to stay, but I think it's cool to see it make an appearance now regardless. Speaking of things making an appearance in OU, we also see some big rain breakers, rain abusers. Swift Swim, Barraskewda, and Kingdra are making their way up the tiers. Unfortunately for Kingdra, it's only going to be making its way up from NUBL to RU, but for Barraskewda, it's going from all the way from RU to OU, which I think is pretty fascinating. It's always cool seeing that. Barraskewda is undoubtedly one of the better breakers on rain teams. It's super fast, it can run Adamant with Choice Band, hits hard, has nice coverage. Of course, it's going to struggle to break things like Rocky Helmet, Toxapex, and Slowbro, but that aside, it should do really well, especially at threatening opposing offensive teams. And I'm curious to see how that will lead to it settling in the metagame. Next up, we also have Kingdra. Kingdra is a fearsome Pokemon in the metagame as it stands. I believe that Kingdra can do a great job breaking through teams, really use it with some sniper percent lower tiers or on manual rain teams or on hard rain teams in OU. So it's going to be interesting to see how it fares in RU. It was definitely ridiculous in NU, so it goes without saying that we have to get the hell out of there. Tyrantrum and Zygarde 10, two dogs that were just too good for the NU and PU tier respectively. Now they're finally seeing the usage they deserve in RU, which is unsurprising seeing as they're both very strong. Tyrantrum being just the sheer force of it, and Zygarde, obviously Zydog appreciating the 1,000 arrow spam ability, just making it overall a great offensive presence. Unfortunately, Zydog is pretty frail relative to the other Zygardes, but still pretty damn strong Pokemon all in all. Speaking of RU, it's also getting Arctivish, which is huge. It's going to be a really strong Pokemon on specific archetypes. Has Fishy's Ren going for it, so you can't go wrong there. However, two Pokemon that are moving up from NU to RU that arguably completely just put the NU tier in shambles are Crobat, which found its way into almost every balanced team, I swear to God, in NU for the last month, and Rabombi. It feels like missing Crobat. I'm really going to miss it. It was such a cool Pokemon to have in NU. It wasn't broken or controversial either. It was just so good. It was nice. It covered things defensively, Toxstroke, and now we're going to have to wait and see. Rabombi, I was less fond of. I only used it a couple times. It was still really good as well. A strong, fast fairy type with an array of offensive options, ranging from Sticky Web to Quiver Dance to just pivoting sets with boots or specs or whatever it might want to run. All in all, I think it was good, but not broken, if you will. And I think it's unfortunate that we're missing two of those Pokemon. Ryu's also getting Politoed, which is interesting. However, NU is getting some Pokemon from PUBL that kind of is reflected in their usage in the tier. Absol, Magmortar, Magneton, and Mesprit all seeing some utilization in the NU tier. Absol, undoubtedly one of the more potent offensive options in the tier with Stab Dark, a lot of high base attack, and has a decent speed tier for a slower metagame. It also appreciates being used on things like Oravel or Sticky Web teams, which goes a long way towards cementing it as a legitimate threat in the tier. Magmortar, as we see on a recent live on my channel, if not, check it out, it came out earlier today. Magmortar just stretched your teams. Fire Blast, Thunderbolt, Focus Blast, and either Toxic for hitting things like Gastrodon or Rock Slide for hitting things like Scorch goes such a long way towards breaking through teams. Yeah, there are a few Pokemon here and there I can maybe wall it, but it's mad strong with boots and all that special attacking prowess, and I definitely would implore you guys to try it out. Next up, we have Magneton, which great pivot and potentially even breaker, and also Mesprit, which is strong, but it kind of has a weird fork move syndrome, but it does gain a lot of access to a lot of moves, so I think it's going to settle into NU as a really good option. Nasty Plot, Stat, Stealth Exits, they're all going to be great, I think. So, yeah. PU is going to be getting Ludicolo, because it's just pretty good in PU, and it'll also be getting, I'm not sure what Gorgo's form, and Shuckle, because sticky webs are, I guess, present in that tier. I don't really have much commentary on PU, unfortunately. Not super familiar with the tier, but I'm trying to gain familiarity, so maybe in the coming weeks and months, whatnot. Yeah, as for drops, Ditto dropped from OU all the way down to PU, which is kind of funny, but now it's usable in all lower tiers and your like stall teams and offense teams and whatnot, whatever you want to do. If you just want to Ditto something, go for it. Speaking of dropping down from UU to RUBL, Sharpedo has been banned from RU, got banned a couple months back, and I don't know if they want to test it again quite yet. It was ridiculously strong, especially with Spike's Klefki support, and as you see, Klefki just dropped from UU to RU, so watch out, fellas. But yeah, now the thing about RU is it's no longer RU. They actually renamed it to UU Junior because we see an entire tier of Pokemon just dropping. Some Pokemon that have even been like ban-worthy in things like UU before, such as Lycanroc Dusk and Kyurem. And I think it's just absolutely ludicrous to see these Pokemon being all dropped at once, but I think it's also super fun. We're going to go through them now, though. We got Aerodactyl, which unfortunately I think is probably going to end up falling to NU. Araquanid, which is going to be pretty strong. Because it sticky webs up, it's got, liquidation, it's hard, but it's still going to be wall by some things. I wouldn't be shocked to see it be okay, but not amazing. Articuno Galar, one of the Pokemon I'm more excited to see. More interesting presence there, a lot of especially offensive options, so we'll see. Bronzong, which could be a very serviceable rocker. Celebi, which, you never thought you'd see the day where it was like a fully fledged RU Pokemon. It dropped from OU to U after generations of being OU, and now it's RU? I don't know what to make of that. I think it'll be good, though. Chandelure, because 145's base special attack with virtually unresisted stab combination is what RU clearly needs. Cloyster, because what RU clearly needs also is a shell smashing cheeser. It also gets spikes and spin. It actually might be a pretty good addition to the tier, honestly. I think Cloyster might be cool. And now we get one of the previous behemoths of DLC 0, i.e. pre-DLC 1. I don't know what like the post-home metagame, like the March, April metagame, or honestly, earlier this year, Conkeldurr was like a top 10, 15 Pokemon OU. Now it's RU, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm just going to stop talking to make myself sound like less of an ass now. Yeah, okay. Cresselia, Lunar Dance, like Trick Roam, Screens, might be cool there. I don't think using Combine too much, though. A lot of things that could kind of take advantage of Combine. Cresselia being passive. Darmanitan, just being RU is ridiculous. I don't know what to make of it. Why is Darmanitan? I have no clue why Darmanitan's RU. I have lost for words at this point. Okay, well, Delmise is pretty solid, I'd say. Definitely have to watch out for it. It's pretty strong, but I could see it dropping the NU just because there are a lot of faster, stronger things in this tier as well. DNC could be a nice rocker utility, but I don't know. It might end up being NU like last generation for a while. Diggersby is going to be really strong. This thing hits like an absolute truck. Like a truck and a half, honestly. So yeah, I got to watch for that. The Blade might be a nice utility. So check things like non-Hydro Blister. Durant, which we're going to get to in a second. Aerodactyl. Could live a hit from Conkeldurr and do a lot back. Other Pokemon, let's check, yeah, like a Araquanid, maybe. A Haxorus, Charm a little bit, like Dusk a little bit. Mienshao, not really. It actually kind of doesn't soft check a ton, but it might see just because it 1v1s a lot of physical attackers, like Scolipede. And, Terrakion, yeah, no, maybe we'll see. Oh my god, it's a Rudefell. Wow, okay, we're going to have to get through all this crap. Next up, there's Durant, which is going to be a good RU Pokemon. It just always has been a really good RU Pokemon. So yeah, we'll have to see. Hustle makes it mad strong, but of course it can miss, so it's definitely living on the edge there, you know what I mean? Entei, we're waiting for it to kind of hit that full power with heavy-duty boots. It's just not there yet, and I don't know if it'll be there yet when the metagame was things like Suicune dropping. Are there any other bulky waters that dropped? Is it just Suicune? It is just, in fact, Suicune. Wow, almost there, I guess, but not really. So yeah, no, maybe it is finally Entei's time to sign alongside Flygon, another Pokemon that's been UU for a while now, but finally seeing itself in the depths. Actually, it was RU last year. It was RU like 2 years. What am I saying? No, Flygon's been RU. I'm dumb. Don't mind me. Yeah, it's solid. Frostlass with Triple Axle, Poltergeist, it might be solid in the RU metagame, I'd say. Could be Speed Spike Slate as well. Gengar is RU. Gengar is RU. I repeat, Gengar is RU. Gengar. The Pokemon Gengar, which was OU in Generation 1, OU in Generation 2, OU in Generation 3, OU in Generation 4, OU in Generation 5. I think OU in Generation 6 too. Gengar is now, in fact, in Rarelyused, which I just find to be absolutely ridiculous. Gengar was an OU staple for the longest time, guys. How is this fathomable? What the hell is... What? Without Pursuit, you'd think it'd get better. without Z-moves, potentially, I guess Z-moves kind of benefited it. Never mind that. But without, like, what? What is happening this What is Pokemon? I'm at a loss, guys. This is bizarre. Araquanid, okay, nice spiker. Has a lot of offensive presence, cool ability, kind of, but also kind of weird. I don't know how to make of it, but definitely some pros there as opposed to cons. Yeah, if that makes sense. But anyway, that's fine. Grimmsnarl, yeah, Grimmsnarl's solid. Gonna be screens. I can't see using bulk ups. That just gonna be like cheesy Pokemon, but it's solid for sure. Ixorus is just gonna completely demolish this tier. Healness could be a good pivot. Klefki, Spikes, utility screens, that'd be nice, I think. Kyurem is an RU. Like Kyurem, this Pokemon has a BST closer to 700 than 600, and it is an RU. And I know BST is one of the most stupid indicators. Like you say, oh, this Pokemon has 600 BST, it can't be. No, BST is irrelevant. It's what happens in practice. But I just think the sheer fact that something like this is happening, a very functional, like benefited Pokemon like this generation, it gets like Freeze Dry, it gets Ice Cold Spear, it gets Dragon Dance, it gets Roost. Well, it had Roost, I don't know. It gets Boots. Boots is the most point of all. And it's RU. I don't understand what's happening to Pokemon like Kyurem and Gengar, and I mean, hell, you could even say Conkeldurr. It's ridiculous. It's bonkers, one could even say. And I don't use the word bonkers lightly, so you know this is like crazy. Lycanroc Dusk, a Pokemon that was banned from UU months ago, is now RU. Like, what actually checks this? Like, close combat does a million down. Things that are neutral hitting, like Flygon, Metagross, which I believe is RU now. Yeah. Crunch hits things like the Blade, probably. It's just like, it's gonna just be a wrecking ball. Malamar, Contrary might be better for NU, honestly. I don't know. Metagross is gonna be solid. It's gonna hit hard, gonna tank hard, and it's gonna be able to set up rocks. Just nuke things with the Choice Band or Choice Scarf, or even remix it, I guess, with like Grass Knot to hit Omastar. I don't really think it needs it in this metagame, but Psychic could be cool for Tangrowth because you got to break through with Rocky Helm Tangrowth, which is going to be really solid in this metagame, be able to check things like Conkeldurr, Diggersby, Haxorus, maybe a little bit, Metagross, Lycanroc Dusk. Yeah, no, Tangrowth is going to be a godsend in this metagame, I think. Next up, we have Mienshao, nice Regenerator fighting type. Should be really good. Offensively, I think my Scarf Sense would be good. Close combat over high jump kick's nice as well. Because there are some ghost types that tier is now seeing. So not taking half damage is nice against things like Gengar, Frostlash, Chandelure, the Blade, Mimikyu, which we're going to get to in a second. Wow, we got a lot of ghost types in RU now. That's crazy. Just the demise of the ghost typing, I guess. Speaking of them, Mimikyu is next. It's going to be good on like hyper offense teams with Disguise, Swords, and Stats. It was pretty good in UU when it was in UU last, like earlier this generation. It feels like last generation. Oh my goodness. But yeah, no. Wow, Necrozma too. Necrozma is going to be mad strong, can do a million different things. I think it's going to be great on teams like Orovale with Ninetales, Alola, set up that Hail, set up that Veil, and then everything just wins because it's so bulky all of a sudden. I think it's going to be really interesting to see those kind of cheesy teams rock it. In RU, I might even have to do a live with them. If you want to see an RU live with Orovale, hit that like button and comment below. I really want to know if you guys want to see me do that. I think that'd be pretty great. Next up, we got Noivern, which is just kind of an RU Staplemon last generation, I think, at points. Now, UU Staplemon, it's good in these lower tiers. It'll do the trick. Obstagoon. I like Obstagoon. Wow, that was the weirdest description, but you know what? I'm sticking with it. I like Obstagoon. Yeah, no. Okay, Omastar, Smash and Spikes and Rocks and whatnot. It's going to be okay, I guess. Palossand, it's good for track. That's about it, unfortunately. I guess you could check Aerodactyl too, but I don't think Aerodactyl's going to see much usage. Maybe soft check Helios too. Yeah, it'll have its niche. It'll do well against Lycanroc. Okay, yeah, it'll be good. Palossand's going to be good. Poltergeist, another ghost type that we didn't mention. Why? Because I'm like, wait a minute, what actually checks it after a Nasty Plot? Literally, out of all of these Pokemon, the only thing living a +2 hit and being able to kill back is going to be like Grimmsnarl, Obstagoon, Umbreon, and Zarude. We have like 4 Pokemon at like 50. This is going to be a ridiculous part. Like, once you get some chip on those dark types, which you see, you just use Ghost Spam. Like, use something like a Gengar with it, and just like crap, like the whole metagame just dies. I think that's crazy. Porygon Z is also RU because everyone just wants to spam Specs Tri Attack now, so might as well spread it to the lower tiers as well. Raikou. It's cool. Stalled Raikou is actually pretty threatening. There are some grass types though, so it's limited, but it's cool. Regigigas is going to fall eventually all the way down to POZU. Registeel, however, it might find its home in RU as it's a pretty reliable stealth rocker, but if it falls to NU, it'll be really good there too, so it'll be interesting to see how that fares. Roserade is going to be a really strong offensive grass type, even without hidden power fire to help hit things like Durant, the Blade, and Klefki. It's still going to be great getting spikes up, forcing status, getting a lot of damage off. Speaking of that, Rotom-Mow is also a good Pokemon right now. I can't imagine it falling to NU, but I mean, I've been wrong many times before. And there are some things here at Wallet, such as the aforementioned Roserade. Maybe, Rakim and Entei, Kyurem. Yeah, they're Pokemon to do well against it, so let's wait and see. Scolipede Sword Sand set looks real hard to check and counter in this tier, but with the Blade being around and Priority being all over the place and it needing to get a free turn, maybe it'll be kept in check. I guess I'll have to wait and see, but it'll definitely be good in RU at worst. Scyther, dual Wing Beat with Technician, is mad strong off them stabs. I'm definitely curious to see how Scyther does. We have Slowbro Galar, Slowking Galar. I don't think either are going to really stand out. I could see Slowbro Galar staying in its metagame and then eventually settling and being one of the top Pokemon after some shifts, like it did in the DLC 1 metagame, because Slowbro Galar was like monstrously good for a while and then it went to UU, but I don't know, and I think Slowking Galar is just kind of okay, not amazing. But then we have Suicune, which Suicune is like, okay, good in OU Gen 2. Really good in OU Gen 3. Pretty good in OU Gen 4. Then it fell to UU, but it was like really good in UU. And then Gen 6, it like saw a huge uprising to the point where it was like almost broken in OU for a while, which is crazy. And now it's back to RU? Bruh. Suicune is just that, like, it's crazy. What's been happening? I mean, it's always going to find a tier that's just going to be really like good and almost centralizing it, I think. So it'll be interesting to see how it does here. We have Sylveon, which can be, it's hard with specs, Hyper Voice, or just run a utility Wish set, which I'll probably see more often. Talonflame, it'll be okay. It'll definitely be pretty good, not amazing in this tier. Tangrowth is that godsend physically defensive tank we needed. I think Rocky Helmet or Boot sets with like max physical defense. It's going to be really nice at checking things. Tracheon's undoubtedly going to be good, even with Palo Sand and the Blade following it down. Thundurus in RU after being banned in Gen 5. Really good in Gen 6. Okay in Gen 7. Now it's just skipping UU and just going all the way to RU. I'm without words. Speaking of being without words, Togekiss, a Pokemon that's been like infamous for being like annoyingly good in OU, is now RU as well. Textricity, a Pokemon that was previously surging on the OLT ladder, being one of the best hyper offensive options in OU, is RU as well. So it's just like, what is happening? What is going on? Just adjusting the screen a little downward a bit. We also have Serena. It's pretty much an RU Pokemon. Same with Umbreon. I'm not really minding those two. It's going to be a strong attacker, and Umbreon's going to be a strong special wall, but that's about it. Uxie's good utility. Venusaur, maybe if Sun's okay. I don't know. Venusaur's going to be alright. Weezing Galar is going to be kind of sneaky good, I think. It'll check a number of things on the physical side, like Conkeldurr, like Obstagoon, like not really Exorus. Honestly, it doesn't check much else, honestly, so that's unfortunate. Maybe it'll do okay against Lycanroc Dusk. I don't really know. Not really. Yeah, no, maybe it'll just be good. Maybe it'll be great. Maybe it won't be good. I don't know. We'll find out. I just give you every single possible option it could be. So good or not good or great. Yeah, it'll be one of those. We also have Zarude. Zarude is really good. It's going to find a way, despite things like Weezing Galar being... It's going to be good. It's a fucking Zarude. So yeah, that's that. RU to NU, we see Comfy. Wow, infamous NU Pokemon without hidden power, at least be manageable, but it is annoying. Druddigon's going to be a great addition to the NU tier. Super excited to see it offensively and defensively really pan out. It offers you a lot of utility, so yeah. Espeon is back in business. Magic Bouncer is going to be pretty strong offensively in NU as well. I think it'll be decent. Gigalith is, well, kind of good, kind of crazy. I don't know, it'll maybe enable some playstyles and check some things, which is cool. And Teleon falling all the way to NU, I mean, just showing it was really, like, backseated by Game Freak this generation. It didn't really get the tools it needed to succeed, which is unfortunate. Mudsdale is, well, it's kind of annoying, and NU, I'm not gonna lie, but it'll be really good, of course. Thankfully, we did get Xatu to keep it in check, which I see as a plus there. In fact, Xatu being the tier alone might make it so that Mudsdale won't come nearly as dominant as before. I think that, like, that single Pokemon being there to check it is huge for us. So, yeah, Regice, yo, AV Regice Nation, that'll be fun. And then 2 fire types to get Torkoal, Sunsetter, I guess. I don't know if Drought's banned right now, actually, but I can't imagine it lasts if it isn't. And last, Salazzle, which is going to be really good in NU. It should have been good in RU, but RU got 1,000,001 different things, so that'll be interesting. Wow, Puge has got a full stall team. Audino, Carbon, Clefairy, Garbodor, Golbat, Persian Alola, Poliwrath, Sableye, Silvally Form, Skuntank, Tangela. It quite literally got a full stall team. Of course, it also got some offensive options. For example, Champley can build new things with Specs Draco and Hyper Voice with Flamethrower coverage. Lycanroc's going to be a strong attacker alongside Ninetales being a potential Nastpod sweeper. Rapidash is going to give another offensive fire type in the physical end of the spectrum. Savali can also play it offensively alongside Skuntank, a strong dark type. And Trevenant's going to be a hard hitter, whereas Wishiwashi is going to be a great pivot. So that'll be interesting to see. Pew to ZUBL. Swoobat, okay, I don't really care. And then Pew to ZU. I don't think I give a crap about any of these Pokemon. I'll go through the highlights. Armaldo's cool for Spellthrax and Spin. Bolton's going to be a strong physical attacker that's fast. Calyrex is going to be irrelevant. Crustle is going to be a nice hazard setter / Smell Smasher. Crystal is going to be a nice strong special attacker. Glaceon can be a wall or a strong special attacker. Goth's irrelevant. Lapras is cool utility / special attacker. Leafeon's going to be a strong kind of Swords Dance Sweeper. Same with Lilligant with Quiver Dance. Manectric's nice special attacker. Marowak's going to hit like a truck, but it's going to be slow and frail. Ponyard is nice, kind of defog abuser. Pink Urchin for Electric Drain. Raboot is going to be good with Libero, I guess. Reliclant. Roselia is going to be a nice Spike Setter. Skuntank, good rocker. Type Null Pivot. Walreign's irrelevant with Boots, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, no, so basically, tiers kind of changed a little bit, and then Aryu just got completely shit-faced by all of this. Let me know your thoughts on it. I've got to play a lot to really figure this stuff out, but yeah, I'm curious what you guys have to see, and have a great weekend / week / day / night / whatever the hell it is for you guys, and yeah, no, be sure to like, be sure to comment what your thoughts on this is, and be sure to subscribe to the channel, guys. Only 55-60% y'all are subscribed, so be sure to get that 6,000 ASAP Rocky. You know how it be. Check out the YouTube. Wait, you guys are already watching YouTube, but if you're enjoying YouTube, check out my Twitter. Be sure to leave a follow and join the Discord server, Finchinator. You know how it be. But yeah, no, have a great day. All right, peace out, guys. Bye-bye.